Welcome, dear listeners. I am your skald, the Sigmarillion, and I intend to take you on a journey through the often misinterpreted and unknown ages of our mortal realms. Scholars, as well as other bards, unequal in their vocation compared to I, scribble and rhyme away the stories spanning from the beginning of our time itself all to the time of now, in which each of you reside, sitting at this gathering and listening to yours truly. The scholars in their scientific minds believe themselves to know historical facts, disregarding the vast unknown as if it were blemishes to their intelligence. Bards instead revel in the unknown and fill it to its very margins with fabrications, not facts. But I, the Sigmarillion, am different. I am as much a skald as I am a scholar, and during my incredible travels I have seen much. Oh, I have learned so very much. So let us explore the past together. Let us retell what is believed, and let us reinstate what is known. In this series of explorations in the past, we will venture into the ages of the mortal realms, starting from the very beginning with the age of myth. After the lore of those most ancient times has been sufficiently undusted, then we will move on to the dreaded and most horrific of times, the age of chaos. A time of turmoil, grief and madness, which was only ended by the coming of the time in which we currently reside in, the age of Sigmar. But I am getting ahead of myself, so please take a seat by the fire and warm your tea while I recall trusted folklore as well as the ramblings of seers. For do note, very little is known about the beginnings, but nonetheless I will recite to all of you the apocryphal tales regarding the time of beginnings, the time of hope, the time of prosperity, the age of myth. It is believed that before our mortal realms there existed a singular world. A world filled with the progenitors to our various races. A dwarf from the race Duardin as we know it now is believed to have been called Dowie in the old world, and humans were said to have formed a vast empire to which Sigmar was believed to be the founder and king of. Other races resided there, some rumored to be present here in the mortal realms, while others were simply lost to time. Civilizations of this old world thrived for a time, but was eventually beset on all fronts by malevolent powers, mostly of those by the greatest of evils, the dark gods of chaos, who sought domination and subjugation in all things. Fighting for survival, the races of the old world thrashed back at their eventual doom, even aided by the long-lost King Sigmar, who had finally returned not just as a mortal man, but instead as a god and beacon to humanity, elves, dwarves, and the other races alike, to lend aid to the dying world. The dark powers closed in, however, and it is rumored that through its interference of a gargantuan, powerful and vast font or vortex of magic designed to keep the world safe, eventually, ironically, aided in the destruction of the old world. As a culmination of several cataclysmic events, everyone died. Everything was destroyed. The old world was no more, and would later, throughout the eons, be known instead as the world that was. Cracked and broken, the world was sundered, and it is believed that malice, the very heart core of the world that was propelled through space and time by the cataclysmic energies of the world's destruction. Malice, this gleaming and golden heart core of the world that was, drifted through the etheric void for eons, piercing swaths of stardust and infinite night. As malice seemingly fled from the unimaginable trauma of its body's destruction, its aureate, meteoric and spherical form streaked and pierced through the dark and empty void like a streak of yellow paint in a bucket of deep purple, but always followed by the twin-tailed afterglow of its celestial movement. Even in its near infinite solitude, malice was not alone. For atop its golden spherical form, one individual lay motionless, and had for eons past also hurtled through the etheric void. Ever still and unconscious, this individual had clung to malice since the time of its propulsion from the world that was, eons ago. With still hair and frozen body, the god king Sigmar laid upon the brink of death. War, horror, defeat, destruction. The old world was no more. Dying, Sigmar's eons unconscious mind fervently reflected on the unimaginable trauma of the destruction of the old world. Even with his divine return as a god, Sigmar had lost his home, his world. Everything that he had ever known was gone. The dark powers, the chaos gods, had won, and Sigmar, along with the rest of life itself, had lost as gravely as can be. If Sigmar was too weak to awake, or if he simply no longer had the will to open his eyes, he nonetheless laid there, still and frozen. Hurtling through the void on malice, the twin-tailed comet, which was all that remained from the greatest of defeats. Was Sigmar alive because of the universe's punishment for his inability to save his world? Was his only companion the ripped-out core of the world that was, there only to torment him about his greatest failure? Eyes closed and body still, the mighty god King Sigmar wept for his loss, for his failure, for his guilt. Unbeknownst to the despaired and slumbering Sigmar, beyond the twin-tailed afterglow of the comet, Malice drew the eye of a being residing in the void. It followed the bright streaks of golden light left in the wake of the comet's celestial movement, and Malice soon found itself to be pursued. Searing through the infinite night, the golden streaks of Malice found themselves to be followed by a being of the void. A gargantuan, pale yet celestial dragon-like being had seen Malice passing through the firmament, and had found that the curiosity that Malice awoke in it was undeniable. This great gleaming drake, Dracothian, was inspired by the golden beauty of Malice, and wished to capture it in order to always have the ability to admire its lustrousness. Dracothian, with its heaving wings, eventually caught up to Malice, but its excitement at having finally approached the golden comet was instead replaced by more curiosity. The great drake looked upon the surface of Malice and saw the long, cold, still body of Sigmar adsorbed on its surface. Dracothian looked at the pained face of this fallen god king, and sensed emotions and virtues emanating from his mere presence that resounded with the great drake's very essence. And so Dracothian breathed life into Sigmar, so that he may once again engage himself with the cosmos. If Dracothian revives Sigmar solely from the sensing of a kindred spirit, or if Dracothian had long found itself lonely in the void, we will never know. But nonetheless, the god King Sigmar had been revived and was now awake. As Sigmar awoke, he realized the significance of the looming drake's actions, and promptly thanked the great drake for assuring his revivification. As a token of gratitude, Sigmar gave chunks of the raw, golden metal of Malice itself in gratitude, ensuring the life spark of a long-lasting friendship. No longer the only golden being in the void, Dracothian shared with Sigmar its vast knowledge from the unknown millennia it had traversed the endless night alone. The God King and the Great Drake traveled the cosmos together, Dracothian wanting to show its newfound friend the wonders of the universe. Dracothian guided and bestowed upon Sigmar various views of many impossible phenomena, which, in their alluring complexity, were beautiful in their own right. But as time grew, Sigmar's reactions to the intricate impossibilities of the void and demeanor became more jaded. And after each of the spectaculars shown to him by Dracothian, his melancholy only seemed to deepen. When bequeathed, Sigmar respectfully praised Dracothian's knowledge in the mapping of the cosmos, as well as once more thanking the great Drake for both his revivification and for showing him the haunting, yet immeasurably beautiful phenomena the cosmos had to offer. But, he continued, he missed the mortals, the life, the civilization that he had once known and cherished. Sensing anguish in his heart, the great Drake knew that their sole time together had finally reached an end. And so Dracothian beckoned Sigmar to allow it to show him the last phenomena the cosmos had to offer. A phenomena that was so complex, so intricate, yet so humblingly beautiful. Dracothian wanted to show unto Sigmar impossible crystallizations of the world that was winds of magic. These realms of magic were untamed and dangerous, yet in Sigmar's mind might hold the insurmountable potential for hope. Hope for a chance to begin again. The phenomena that were the mortal realms. Dracothian brought Sigmar to a vast expanse of the etheric void, in which immeasurable yet differently sized spheres of energy slowly rotated and circled around each other as if they were ballroom dancers intertwined with insubstantiate string. They had arrived to the expanse or void, which we now know as the Cosmos Arcane, our local expanse in which all life and land is contained as we know it. Each of these gargantuan and semi-corporeal spheres of magical energy pervaded specific yet different aspects of magic, which flowed both within and around the spheres. These realm spheres, as they would later be known as, were imbued with a specific type of magic which permeated and flowed throughout the realm sphere as if it were a wind. As one example, one of the realm spheres burned bright and was permeated with the red wind, which is also known as fire magic. This realm sphere, in accordance with the ancient and long-forgotten name for the law of fire, was to later be known as Akshi. Another of the realm spheres was similarly permeated with a green wind, also known as life magic, and so it too was named in accordance with the ancient name for the law of life, and was then known as Giran. A total of 8 such realm spheres had formed in this particular expanse of the etheric void, each being crystallizations and coagulations of a specific diffraction of magic. Akshi, the realm of fire. Kamon, the realm of metal. Gur, the realm of beasts. Giran, the realm of life. Azir, the realm of heavens. Hish, the realm of light. Ulgu, the realm of shadow. And finally Shaish, the realm of death. Sigmar looked upon the incomprehensibly sized realm spheres and took in the wonder of how each sphere celestially danced with each other. Hish, the realm of light, seemed to dance mostly in accordance with Ulgu, the realm of shadow, creating a resemblance of night and day over the other realm spheres as they waxed and waned respectively. Intricately connected to all the other realms, Sigmar saw that in the celestial dance's center there was another island-like sphere. It was smaller and did not have a characteristic associated with any form of specific magic. He did, however, notice that this place always sat near stationary within the central inside of the ever-flowing celestial dance of the other realm spheres. It was, however, not as corporeal as the other realm spheres and seemed to constantly be blurred to his vision. Yet he gained the sense that this island sphere was intricately connected and intertwined with all the other realm spheres within this celestial dance. It is this semi-corporeal island which exists in no place at all, but rather between places, which would later be known as the All Points, and even later than that as the terrible and dark 8 Points. But the All Points and its shift into the 8 Points is a story for another time. On the back of the great drake, Sigmar peered into the heart of each of the realm spheres and could not believe his eyes. Within these vast realm spheres of coalesced magic, the magic had seemed to crystallize into a solid disk which pierced through the center of each of the realm spheres, connecting its outer perimeters. This corporeal land he saw was dotted with plains and mountains, oceans, and all the various landscapes with which he felt familiar with. A sudden thought occurred to the God King. He questioned, if there is land contained within these vast spheres of coalesced magic, is there life? Sensing Sigmar's spark of hope at the realization of the potential existence of the mortals he had so long missed, Dracothian swooped down towards one of the discs of physical land contained within one of the realm spheres, and as they approached, hope filled Sigmar's chest. For what he had found was our land, our homes, the lands that we now call the mortal realms. Thank you for listening. Once again, I have been the Sigmarillion, and join me next time as we delve further into the ancient knowledge of the Age of Myth and Sigmar's travels across the then untouched mortal realms. This has been yours truly, the Sigmarillion.